Hey everyone! Today, we're going to walk through our shared plan for Villegas Middle School for the 2025-2026 school year. This is all about taking the amazing things we already do and building on them, so we have a really clear, unified path forward for every single one of our students. So let's jump in. Before we get into any of the details, I want to start here. This right here, this is our North Star. It's the core belief that drives every single thing we do at Villegas. Every strategy, every new idea we're going to talk about today, it all comes back to this one powerful promise we make to our students. So here's a quick look at where we're headed. We'll kick things off with our shared commitment, then introduce the new framework for success. After that, we'll see how it actually works in action, look at the timeline, and we'll wrap up by talking about all the strengths we're building on. All right, first up, our shared commitment. Before we can talk about where we're going, it's so important to ground ourselves in who we are and what we already stand for. This is our why. And these principles, these are the absolute bedrock of Villegas. We're all about creating a supportive and structured environment where expectations are clear. We have such a strong sense of community. And honestly, it's our incredible staff. It's all of you who show up every single day and overcome any challenge thrown your way. This foundation is exactly what we're building upon. So with that foundation in mind, let's look at the framework for success. This is really the what behind our plan for next year. Okay, so here it is, the big idea. Our main focus is building one single, cohesive system. Now, the key words there are cohesive and standardized. What does that really mean? It means making sure that every student gets consistent, predictable support, no matter whose classroom they're in. It's about getting us all on the same page, which creates so much more clarity for our students, for their parents, and, just as importantly, for us. So, what does this framework actually look like when the rubber meets the road? Let's dive into the how. The heart of this whole thing is what's called a tiered system of support, and all that means is that we're creating one unified structure for everyone. We'll have really clear school-wide definitions for the universal support that every student gets, that's our Tier 1, and then we'll have equally clear plans for targeted Tier 2 and intensive Tier 3 interventions for those students who need a little extra help. We're breaking this down into 4 key pieces to make it really manageable and effective. First, we'll standardize our systems. Second, we're going to get really sharp on early detection using data. Third, we'll create a clear, easy-to-use catalog of interventions. And fourth, we'll back all of it up with consistent communication and professional development. And this is where it gets really practical. For academics, we'll keep using the assessments we know and trust, like STAR and the MDTP. And we'll review that data in our regular MTSS meetings. For behavior, we're going to implement a standardized electronic process. Look, the goal here is not to create more work. It's about creating a smarter, more unified system so we can spot students who need help and get them that help so much sooner. Okay, so we've covered the what and the how. Now for the really important part, the when. Let's take a look at our path for the 2025-2026 school year. We're going to be really deliberate about this. It's a phased rollout. It all kicks off this fall when we form a staff committee because we absolutely need your expertise to build this. By November, that group will help define the tiers and create a resource catalog. December is all about professional development for everyone. And then from January to March, we'll officially launch the new systems. And that brings us to our final section. And honestly, this might be the most crucial point of all. This entire plan is about building on the incredible strengths we already have and honoring the foundation we've all built together. I really want this to sink in. This plan is an evolution. It is not a replacement. We're not throwing out what works. This is all about connecting and strengthening the amazing programs that are already making a huge difference for our students. This slide is the perfect example of what I mean. The core academic practices you depend on are not going anywhere. Things like PD for our aides, our focus on literacy, our AVID, that's Advancement via Individual Determination, and our English language development programs, they are all cornerstones that will continue. Just now, they'll be even more integrated into this new cohesive system. And the exact same thing is true for our community and our culture. All the programs that make Villegas feel like Villegas will continue. Our revamped Lunch and Learn, our school-wide social-emotional learning, or SEL lessons, the student store, our awards assemblies, after-school clubs, all of it. That spirit is here to stay. So as we wrap this up, this is the question I want to leave you with. This plan, it isn't just a document. It's a tool. It's a framework to help us be more coordinated, more effective in our shared mission. So the real question is, how are we as a team going to use this to empower every single Villegas student to succeed? Thank you.